Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Well, I started this one. I'm pretty well into this one. And I just didn't think to start filming. So, well, we're going to pick it up now. This is a John Deere 112L. This is a tractor from 1985. It's 40 years old. This tire right here does not hold air. Other than that, it's decent. It's well used. But I paid $50 for this tractor. Not running. It would turn over, but would not start. So I did have to buy a battery for this. I bought a brand new battery. It's sitting right over there. And I got it home, I put the battery in it, fired it over, and immediately could tell what was wrong with it. What was going on is it was spitting back up out of the carburetor. So I knew right off it was a valve issue. So I took it apart, I pulled the head off of it, and you can see I've got this cleaned up. I'm pretty much almost ready to go back together. Right now I'm in the process of lapping the valves. I did the exhaust valve already. But yeah, and I've cleaned up the head and I resurfaced the mating area on my granite block so it's nice and flat. I've already lapped the exhaust valve. It looks nice. But this was the culprit right here. This screw was holding the intake valve wide open. It got sucked into the carburetor and was actually sitting just like this. Half in, half out, holding the valve open. So that was the issue. So right now I'm going to go ahead and lap in that intake valve, and then we'll be putting this thing back together. I do have to go through the carburetor. I'm going to recondition the carb before I put it back together, and yeah, then we'll be ready to give this thing a shot. This intake valve, I could actually spin it. When it had the valve springs on it and everything, I could actually spin it. So they needed to be lapped. I'd say that's probably good, wouldn't you? Let me go clean this up, take a look at it. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. she'll do. Okay, I got the valves installed. I kind of jumped ahead. I got the valves lapped in really good. I got the valve lash set to 5 thousandths on both of the valves. Yeah, I had to grind a little off of both of them. But I got that, so we're good there. I got the cylinder head torqued on. I just put 30 foot-pounds, torqued it to 30 foot-pounds, got the exhaust reinstalled. Getting ready to put the valve cover back on, and I had to make a gasket. I used the old scan technique. Scanned this and created the template, and then made a gasket from a cereal box. So I'll get the valve cover put on, and then from there it's just kind of, well, I got the carburetor. The carburetor is the big thing after that. And then it'll be ready to just put back together. And look how nicely that came out. There's my homemade gasket. And I just went ahead and cleaned this up decently. So we're ready to go ahead and slap that on. And there you have it, valve cover installed with a peanut butter Captain Crunch gasket. Yeah, I just did some parts cleanup. There's the carburetor. It's still pretty nasty. That's got to go into my sonic cleaner. And I cleaned this stuff up. Governor arm and a couple intake pieces, gasket. So I'm going to disassemble this guy now, and this thing's got to go into the cleaner. All these parts are going into the sonic cleaner, so yeah, that's next. Okay, got my parts in the cleaner. I'm going to let this thing heat up, and then I'll run it. We're soaking. The 2 jets that I removed out of the carburetor is actually in pretty good shape. It came apart easy. One of the jets was plugged, one of them was not plugged, so yeah, we'll get it running right. Anyway, we have everything in the cleaner. I'm going to let it warm up, like I said, and then we'll run it. All that good stuff. I think the bowl gasket that I removed out of this, I believe, has seen better days, so I might have to order a gasket kit for this carburetor. So unfortunately, I am going to have to spend a few bucks on this thing after all, because those gaskets are just, they're just bad. So anyway, that's all. Okay, I got my gasket surface clean for the intake. I'm going to make some gaskets for this. One of these, and then there's 2 that go on either side of this. I'll make those. And we'll put this thing together. Carburetor is done, cleaned nicely. One jet was plugged. This one right here was plugged. The main jet was not plugged. Well, we got it all cleaned up, and we'll go ahead and get these gaskets made and be ready to fire this thing up. It runs great, but that's either the loudest rod knock I've ever heard, or there's something knocking underneath. I have a feeling it's the engine knocking. This thing has the worst rod knock. I believe that's what it is. Anyway, it actually runs pretty good. All hooked up, got the, obviously got the carburetor on and everything. I just went and cut the front yard, and this thing needs some help. Yeah, but well, yeah, it was a nice $50 experiment, but this engine, I think, is quite terminal with that knock. Yeah, I believe that's what it is anyway. So, all right, anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Just a quick, a $50 pickup, and got it running, actually cut the grass. But I think this thing is toast. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Yeah, I removed the deck from the mower. And I think the deck's actually in pretty good shape. But the tractor, yeah, that knock is on there. I'm not even bothered putting the air filter on it. There's oil pooling up in here. Oil's pushing out through the rings. This thing is so sloppy and rod knocky. I don't even think you can rebuild this. You'd have to get a new crank, and the case may even be shot. But anyway, it does run, and it runs pretty good for being on the cuspus of blowing up. Take it for a little spin. Oil. Anyway, it runs good. My valve job was good on it, but we're polishing a turd there, doing a nice valve job on a junk engine. Anyway, whatever. It was 50 bucks. Homemade gaskets. And alls I got into this, beside the $50, is the battery, which I will keep. And parts. I'll keep certain parts. Starter, stuff like that. But yeah, this engine block is toast. Pretty sure. Or maybe the block is good and it's just the crankshaft. I don't know. Let me know. Comment down below if you want to see a teardown of that engine. And figure out, because I'm not planning on it, but if I get enough requests to do it, I'll do it. Tear it down and we'll inspect it and see the reason for the massive rod knock. There you go. John Deere 112L from 1985. Resurrected. See you guys on the next one.